everybody. This is Brock Lauer with our new podcast show, Talking Toys with Kyle Walters and Brock Lauer, of course. And so this is our first episode of Talking Toys. We'll give you a synopsis of what our little podcast show is about. Pretty much us talking about toys because we're both toy collectors and we both like talking about toys. We're not really toy reviewers, but we do like to critique companies and molds and figures and Legos and any kind of toy, you name it, we critique it, but also we like to talk about it because we're both collectors. We're friends. We're best friends, actually, and we're both collectors. Ain't that right, Kyle?
Real news.
Real news, yes. We're going to tell you about ourselves. It's not a huge dramatic story, but we thought we'd give you our story of how we got into collecting and kind of who we are. We are coming to you, not live, but we are coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where we live, and that's where we make our rounds of the toy industry, whether it's comic shops or retail stores. That's basically that's our home. That's our home base, and we love it. The birthplace of Superman, the son of Krypton. So if you didn't know that, there's a little fact for you right there. So my name is Brock Lauer. I am a fellow toy collector. I've been collecting toys ever since I was a kid. Various different brands and different types of toys. I collect almost anything, really. It comes to it's from Marvel Legends and Hasbro, Star Wars, the Black Series from Hasbro. It's one of my hot top brands right now. I like Legos. I have many Legos right over there from what I'm looking at right there. I love Lord of the Rings Legos, Harry Potter Legos. I do like other sets as well, but I don't have the room to collect them. They are big sets. I also I'm getting into Mezco right now, a very, very great company right now and great brand. Who else do I like? The Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Legos. Oh, I do collect Diamond stuff from Diamond, like Marvel Selects, the Eagle Moss statues. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much my entire collection from Legos, Star Wars, Black. Oh, DC collectibles. I love those animated series figures. Kind of giving you a basis of what I collect. Very nice. Love the Batman the Animated Series line. That's one of my favorites. And yeah, so I mean, I've always liked toys. It reminds me of my childhood. That's kind of like the artifacts of your childhood, because some toys you wish you had, and you really miss that. It's a special memory in your head and your heart from that innocent time. You would agree with that? I mean, you feel the same way?
For sure.
But, it's very personal to all of us collectors. Nostalgia, yeah. It's very personal to us all of us as collectors, no matter what the brand is, no matter what you collect. We want you, the listener, to have a voice, and this is part of that voice. We collect multiple things as well. I never should be afraid of or ashamed of what you collect. It's a love, and I always collect the toys from like those Happy Meal toys to Big Kids Meals toys, Burger King. I collect those as a kid. I collect some action figures. I never liked the term action figure. I thought that was such a cheesy term back then with like just I don't know, I just didn't like the terminology. I just called it figure, I guess. That was always, because I never wanted to call it action figures because it sounded so cheesy. And I collected those as a kid. I always loved Toy Story toys. I'd always collect those. That'd be one of the most played with toy I'd ever play with as a kid. From Crazy Bones to Pokemon cards, the various fads. It's one of those things you really want to, it's so personal. Just from stuff maybe you missed as a kid because you couldn't afford it. So many things you wish you had as a kid, and you don't have it anymore. Like you missed the opportunity because toys, they're like so brief, or it's almost like a mirage. Like if you didn't get it at that specific place and time, that's it. Like you can't wait too long for that. But yeah, toys, I always liked collecting them. They're just a fun thing to collect. And from Star Wars to Lord of the Rings to Harry Potter, doesn't matter what you collect, it's always fun, and it hurts the wallet sometimes as an adult. But, as long as you're smart, that's cool. And so I'll give you a little bit more synopsis of what the show's about. This is the show Talking Toys, and I'm your main host, Brock Lauer. My co-host is Kyle Walters. We do plan on releasing one of these episodes a month. There'll be an hour-long episode per month. That's how we're kind of starting things out here. We'll have a Facebook page up for you guys, as well as a YouTube channel. We just kind of doing this for fun, really, folks. And after we have some episodes in, we do want to hear from you in the comments and see what you like. Today we'll be talking about various things, from like pricing of toys to retailers, the changing landscape on that, to online toys, to exclusives, to other companies getting into toys, new companies kind of start getting their feet wet as to new brands, new companies emerging, more exclusive. There's so many. If you're an action figure collector, which me and Kyle both are hardcore into, we have more than enough on our plates. Because now, if you're an action figure collector, it's like a buffet out there. We'll also be talking about Toy Fair, the latest reveals, our favorite companies, pretty much. We did our research. There are a lot of companies out there. Some Kyle knows more than I do. Some I know more than Kyle, and just so many brands. We'll try to cover as many as we can. If we don't get to your favorite brand, we apologize, but we are starting this out fresh, and we're kind of new at this. I mean, I'm not so much. We're based out of Northeast Ohio. Great place to collect toys and comics. Awesome businesses. Some of my favorites, from Canton all the way up to Cleveland, just like from small business, retail, and also Hasbro, not far away from us, not Hasbro, Kenner. I'm sorry. Excuse. I apologize for all the toy loyalists out there. That is Kenner from Cincinnati, Ohio. That was based in Cincinnati, a little bit south of here.
They were bought by Hasbro, though, correct? So, I mean, I can understand why your mind went that way.
Yeah, they're constantly, Hasbro's constantly in my head, and you're right, they were bought up, and I grew up with, I remember Kenner on the shelves, but I never like actively bought from them. I maybe some Star Wars figures I bought. Pretty much, it's always been Hasbro, because I'm 27 years old. We're 90s kids. It was the 90s when me and Kyle were kids. So we're from that generation. I was born in 1990 and after that. So we're all familiar with toys after that as well. Don't get me wrong. The 80s stuff was great, from Transformers to TMNT. Just some great 80s toys as well, not just 90s toys, but also some toys getting released now, and we're excited for the toys released now. We'll talk about brands from today. We'll have episodes of like past toys, retro toys, figures. Hey, we might even talk about Barbie. You never know. I mean, like we might have a guest who's a Barbie expert on the show, and though that's not something we either collect, but we want to relate to every person in the toy community. That's kind of like what we're aiming for. We'll try to make each episode themed. How we plan to do this is to give you, like, the first part of the show, an update of all the toys that are being released, or new releases that are recent in the toy news and industry. Kind of like the first part of the show, like what's up to date, kind of like an update kind of thing. And the second half of the show will be a theme. It could be anything from like Kenner to Hasbro. It could be from Star Wars figures, Barbie dolls, Hot Wheels, anything you collect, really, folks. I mean, fast food toys. We'll try to cover as many varieties of toys as we can. An episode, we'll devote each episode to a different thing. If it's not for a particular toy, it might be about the retail landscape, the business end of it, what's going on, why do these companies make these certain decisions that they do. But I think you've heard enough from me. I'm going to turn it over to my best friend from high school, since we were in class together in Broadview Heights. That's where we're recording. And I'll turn it over to Kyle, because I think people are tired of hearing about me. So, Kyle, tell us about yourself. What got you into toys? And I'll take it away. I'll give it to you now.
What's up? My name is Kyle from Broadview Heights, Ohio, as he said. What really got me interested, I enjoyed toys as a kid, don't we all? But as an adult, I was kind of like, not my cup of tea. But then I really got back into it around the time when the first Avengers movie was coming out, first Captain America, all that fun. Because my best friend Brock and I, we went to Target and we got one of those really cool 3 3/4 inch, I guess you could call it a pre-Marvel Universe, Captain America parachute type situations, and it was really cool, because I mean, just the idea of having it hang from your ceiling kind of reminds you of maybe those old classic G.I. Joe figures. That was before we really got hardcore into it. And then I bought a Batman Two-Face figure. It was like, what if Two-Face was Batman? I forget the name of the comic line it was based off of, and it was pre-DC Collectibles back when they were DC Direct. And then I had that figure for maybe a year or two, and then I really just got into it, started collecting like all sorts of fun stuff. Marvel Legends, you name it. My favorite toy lines that I enjoy collecting the most are I could divide up into categories. I love anime, so Dragon Ball Z, and with Dragon Ball Z it would be SH Figure Arts from Bandai Tamashii Nations. They do a great job. They also have a thing called Bandai Figurize, where they have this really cool Trunks spaceship, so you can kind of do some fun dioramas. It's still on the wish list. I still eventually pick that up. As I said before, I think Hasbro is doing a fantastic job. It's kind of funny because a handful of years back they thought about just ditching the Marvel Legends line, because when they first took over the license from Toy Biz, if you look at some of the old figures, they were garbage. They really were. The paint apps were meh. Articulation was terrible. They really didn't live up to the precedent that Toy Biz set. But then they brought it back with Arnim Zola and Terrax with those Build-A-Figure waves. And I think they've been, constantly improving ever since. They've done just an overall really fantastic job, and I'm excited to see what they continue to do with the future. I also love Mezco. Mezco is one of my favorite toy companies right now. Just the 112 Collective, just the fact that they've incorporated all their licenses. They're coming out with a Popeye. Finally, hopefully this year I get the Dark Side with the die-cast metal and the LED lights in the eyes. I'm hoping. I've waited like 2 years for that figure, and they said it's supposed to be released as a tentative date in December, and it's like, bro, like just come out with it. Figure looks great. I definitely need that in the collection. And then other than that, it's just like sometimes some things just catch my eyes. Whatever I'm feeling like within Mezco, even though I mostly stick to Marvel and DC. I bought a PX Previews exclusive Judge Dredd, and I think it's fantastic. All the little details on the armor I think are great. I thoroughly enjoy it. Some things I really like too are just within Dragon Ball Z. There are these WCF figure, which is like World Collectible Figure, and they're just little tiny statues, but they look really cool. I think Funko's doing a great job. I love a lot of the mystery minis. You can just put them on your desk, especially the Dr. Seuss line. It's like definitely a good situation.
You collect everything. You collect everything and everything and everything. You have more brands than I collect, but I have a lot, but you have way more just randomness and just brand diversity in your collection.
Hey, if I see something I like it and I want it, I just go get it. As long as it's a reasonable price. Like there's a lot of great import companies like Mafex. I think SH Figure Arts is the top of the line. Even one that I'm kind of meh. The amazing Yamaguchi Rebel Tech has had Marvel lines coming out. They're coming out with an awesome Carnage. The Venom they came out with is cool. The only problem is some of the articulation just leaves a lot to be desired. Their joints are really weird, but then they do some cool things that just draw me back in, where they have like a Captain America and it looks like bullets are deflecting off his shield. So I'm like, I'll probably give that a try.
Yeah, there's always something like, oh, that's so much better, and I'm like, I don't need that. And it's like, but that has that cool factor, that cool thing that they never did before. What were any toys you liked as a kid that you collected?
As a kid, I absolutely loved Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series. I think those shows are still fantastic, and they hold up today. Figures were just a lot of fun. It was a good old Kenner. Your basic 5 points of articulation, but until Spider-Man Classics through Toy Biz, and I want to say maybe circa 2001, we really didn't know. I mean, we were just like, oh, that's really cool. Two companies that definitely changed the game with action figure collecting definitely were Toy Biz with their Spider-Man Classic line, and then even before that, or maybe around the same time, McFarlane Toys. They weren't the most articulated, but the sculpting that he did for a lot of his like horror classics figures and stuff like that, I think Todd McFarlane did great, and I still think he does a good job. Just some of the articulation just leaves a lot to be desired. But McFarlane, I feel like without McFarlane, we wouldn't be getting really fun figures through NECA, because I think NECA really follows a lot of the same patterns as McFarlane.
Yeah, I'm right with you there, man. Batman the Animated Series, to me, that was such a show. I mean, I don't care who you are or where you're from, that's Batman. That is Batman, and to me, and I read comics as well. I've read many facets and stories of Batman and versions of him. That's Batman, and that show, Batman the Animated Series, is the best thing and most accurate thing from a comic book ever. It's literally the best thing from a comic book and put on a screen. Best adaptation of anything from a comic book hero or a comic book. And you know why that is? I'll tell you why that is. And there's 100 reasons why that is. But the fact is, you know that is true because you never hear anyone say anything bad about that show. They can't even find a thing to say, well, that show's great, but, something else could have been better. There's none of that with that show. That show had the perfect music, the voices, the animation, the style.
The good mixture of like noir, you had like old with new.
Right.
Introduced some just amazing characters. Without that show, we would have never had Harley Quinn. I think Red Claw is very underrated, very underappreciated.
Yeah.
I'd love to see her kind of make a return as well. Bruce Timm and Paul Dini are still on my wish list. I have a Mad Love CGC 8.5 autograph by Bruce Timm,
Yeah.
but I'd love to just meet him in person. I just kind of
You could.
just pick on his brain, even if it's just for 5 minutes, because it's like both those dudes are just phenomenal, and the fact that they still are working within the DC entertainment wing, I think is just fantastic. So if you're listening, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, please come to Northeast Ohio. Like the shows would sell out just instantly. I mean, I'd easily want to get picture, autograph, the whole 9 yards. I think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and that show, it saved a generation of Batman fans, and you don't see anyone critique it or say, well, it's not good because of XYZ. No one says that, and that's how you know it's perfect. And that is very rare in any form of entertainment.
Plus, it won, what is it, the Emmy Awards?
Yes.
It won like 9 of those, which is unheard of for an animated show, just because it, even as adults, you can watch that show and it's very dark, it's very real. Plus, it spawns some of my favorite shows. Like, I love Batman Beyond. I'm trying to get him into it a little more because it's fantastic to see about an aging Bruce and how he turns over the reins to Terry McGinnis and just how they tie everything together. Then you have Justice League. I'd love to watch more Justice League. Justice League Unlimited is great, where you could introduce some really fun characters like Green Arrow, Dr. Fate, all sorts of good, just fun characters, how they tied the whole universe together. Hopefully, the movie industry will take notes of how successful their cartoon industry has been.
Yeah.
Because, spoiler alert, the way they ended Justice League with Deathstroke has the potential to be something really fantastic. And I can't wait because I think Deathstroke is very underrated. And I like that ever since Arkham Origins, the video game, how they're kind of bringing him more into the mainstream, even though that video game wasn't the greatest. Deathstroke, just in general, is fantastic.
Yeah.
He's such a great character.
Yeah, they do need to kind of, I think the creators of the movies do need to watch a couple episodes of just of Batman animated series or Justice League the animated series and kind of take some notes and say, okay, we could do that a little bit. I'm not saying you do a direct copy, but maybe give the universe some color, give them some humor. I've been seeing that with the DC movies. They have been getting better with each movie, at least somewhat. I thought Justice League was not as bad as people made it.
Agreed. But it still left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't as mind blowing as Avengers, and I didn't really expect that. I was kind of okay with it being a smaller kind of film with a group of superheroes as opposed to this big mega blockbuster. It had an odd release date of between two big movies, between Thor and Star Wars. That was kind of they kind of jammed that one in there.
Yeah, it was definitely a little silly because right away Star Wars has been just kicking butt and taking names,
right?
And that blockbuster is always going to sell out. And Thor number 3, Thor Ragnarok, was much better than the first two. So I guess they kind of were banking people aren't sure, but because it's Marvel, people are always going to see it.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless with what they could do with Steppenwolf. Just the plot was kind of meh. They should have done a lot more with the mother boxes. But I'm definitely excited for when they do Darkseid in the future because I think Darkseid is just fantastic. I know Thanos literally was Marvel's answer to Darkseid, and it'll be cool to have Thanos with Infinity War and then Darkseid with hopefully Justice League 2 or 3 or something. Definitely a lot of excitement in the future.
Well, you've heard our interest and what we like, and we'll discuss more of that as more of our shows and episodes go along. You'll hear more of our interest in movies and comics and stuff like that. We won't just talk about toys here and there. But yeah, it's mostly about toys. It's all about the the movie A lot of toys are based off movies these days. It's really fantastic if you're a toy collector because you got like a conveyor belt, one after the other, of movie of a movie of a movie, which equals to a wave or two of figures or a toy line like Legos constantly coming out because of those movies. And it's a perfect time to be a nerd and just to wear that badge of honor of geekdom on your on the front of your jacket or t-shirt or hat or dressing up at Comic-Con. You know, we attend those too. And well, we're gonna get up and dive into a new topic, one me and my colleague here have delved deeply into, and that is the New York Toy Fair 2018. Now, for you guys out there, for people that don't know what New York Toy Fair is, it's essentially brands like Hasbro, Lego, DC Collectibles showing off their toys of what's upcoming for the new year. So it's usually in February, and this is kind of like, well, what they're releasing and showcasing to big retailers, online retailers, and just anyone selling toys in general, kind of like showing them and saying, well, this is what we have planned and this is what we're going to make. They kind of give you a timetable of when it's going to be released. So it's product essentially from the toy companies, showing the retailers what they have and also when it's coming out and like the price points and stuff. It's a whole industry, folks. It's essentially like a showcase. It's not open to the public. It's only open to the retailers and for the retail interest, unless you're like in the media of like reviewing toys or making toy videos or podcasts like us. You have to get invited. It's not a Comic-Con, but though it has that Comic-Con feel. We get all our information from some toy reviewers. We YouTube and stuff like Pixel Dan and Shartimus Prime and JC, all great toy reviewers, and want to thank them for going the extra mile and kind of like giving us the information, photos and videos for that, because we're toy collectors and we kind of rely on those images, and any photographers out there as well, just kind of like giving us those images, those videos of what is inside. It's kind of like for the public, it's a virtual con essentially. You have to watch videos and see photos and follow your favorite toy reviewers web pages and videos and stuff like that. This year at Toy Fair was very good in my opinion. It was an A+ because a lot of product was released for 2018, a lot of exclusives, a lot of surprises, and a lot of new, and it gives you the chance to understand and see new toy companies, kind of like ones starting out and kind of getting their feet wet in the industry. So that's what Toy Fair, well, that's what Toy Fair really is. It's just kind of like a showcase of toys coming in the new year and what they got and what they have to offer. And it's up to the retailers to say, well, we want this, and they cherry pick, or they'll have all of the product as much as they can. Like certain toys will be exclusive to Toys R Us or Target or GameStop or anything really now. Anywho, we'll dive right into Toy Fair 2018 right now, and let's start off with Hasbro. Now, I thought, Kyle, Hasbro came out swinging with home runs this year. They had so much product, and it just kind of was overwhelming because I've never seen them release so much product to showcase at a show all in one time. Because usually they do a couple shows. They showcase stuff usually Toy Fair, San Diego Comic-Con, and New York Comic-Con. But yeah, those are the big like reveals for toys. Those kind of like the preview shows of what's coming out the next year or a couple months from now. So mostly the toys that are showcased at New York Toy Fair this year, 2018, are usually start coming out in the spring and stuff like that. So what did you think of Hasbro this year, Kyle?
Hasbro did a really, really good job. I was definitely impressed. The fact that they realized some of their past wrongs and they were willing to right them, i.e. the Yellow Jacket finally.
Yes.
Which should have been a Build-A-Figure at a bare minimum. Ronin, which should have been another Build-A-Figure. I'm a little iffy about that face sculpt though, but things can always get better before they hit retail. I will say I'm not excited about the higher price point, but at the same time, you can't put a price on quality, because if you think about it, I mean, people are paying $80 for a Mezco. They're paying, $200 and up for a Hot Toy. So
right.
If the quality's there, people will buy it. And especially with the Yellow Jacket, it looks like his back tentacles are articulated. And like, as a collector, that just gets the nerd juices flowing. Like that's just fantastic little little details like that.
Right.
they are re-releasing some things and just painting them differently, like
Yeah.
Hulkbuster and Hulk. So I'm kind of like meh with that, but at the same time, like I understand it because the cool thing is if they can re-release that, some people who weren't able to buy the Build-A-Figure Hulkbuster can now buy it with the Hulk, and then they can just reinvest that money back into the line because they've just been absolutely owning it with Marvel Legends specifically. And I will say this too, their Black Series. I mostly like it for the droids. The BB-8 they did was amazing. The R2-D2 is also amazing.
Yeah.
And I normally stick to SH Figuarts through Bandai Tamashii Nations for figures. Like I have a Darth Maul through them. I think it's better than Hasbro. I have a awesome Mace Windu. But that new 3D printing technology for the Princess Leia, kudos to you, Hasbro. It just looks really, really nice. I'm definitely excited to add that Princess Leia to my collection, especially because SH Figuarts usually are they're like double or triple the price of a mass retail thing like a Star Wars Black Series 6-inch. So to just get that Princess Leia for like $20 is gonna be great.
Yeah, obviously a lot of stuff came out before Toy Fair. A lot of leaks because Hasbro had their hands tied because Marvel Studios didn't want certain things released for spoilers of the movie of Avengers: Infinity War. Obviously, one of those things being the Infinity Gauntlet glove, which is a must-have for me.
Individual finger articulation.
Yes.
OMG.
Yeah.
Nice touch there, Hasbro.
And
looks really good.
The light up gems, which I was afraid they weren't going to do, but they did.
What?
Yeah, it has light up gems.
Oh, snap.
I think the
LEDs?
I think it's $100. I think it's going for $100.
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Because if you think about it, the Star-Lord and Iron Man helmets were both $100 a pop, too.
Right. And I'm very picky and choosy about those things. I still want the metal Captain America shield. I wasn't impressed by the Thor hammer.
I wasn't either.
They had like a big.
The Captain America shield you can hang on the wall too, which would be fantastic.
Right. I'm still trying to get that. It's just you got to be so careful with your money. I mean, I'm not rich or anything, but that was just
one of the things that sucks about being an adult for sure.
Yeah, you got to save. I mean, being a collector isn't your job. You don't get paid to collect, unfortunately. But I did enjoy the Infinity Gauntlet glove, the Marvel Legends Infinity War Wave, which consisted of Songbird, Cobra, the new Taskmaster, movie Iron Man, movie Cap, and movie Spider-Man. That's the Thanos Build-A-Figure. However, I wish the Thanos was in his classic armor from like the movie I saw in Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought that was like, I'm not blaming Hasbro, but I'm blaming the studio. I'm like, I hope we be comic accurate. He's kind of boring looking as a figure. He looks great. I mean, don't get me wrong, for a Thanos, and I still get him. But at the same time, I just want him in his cool armor like he is in the comic books. I also heard today that the Walmart exclusive Thanos comic version just hit stores. It's hitting stores, so check your local Walmarts, folks, today.
As are the, I've seen a lot of people throughout the United States have posted about the Legendary Riders wave because that Ghost Rider is a must-have. The Black Widow looks good too. I'm iffy about the face sculpt. I'll have to see it in person, but definitely happy that Hasbro is going this route.
That Wolverine on the bike, man.
Oh,
Did you see that?
Logan looks great. Someone made the point to see how deep they're going with that line, because if they could do like Green Goblin on his glider,
yes,
or if they could do a really nice one of that. Or if they could do Spider-Man at one point had a dune buggy for no reason because why fly around New York City if you can just get stuck in traffic.
Right.
But I would love to see that too, just because it's so random. Kind of like their Spider-Ham figure they're coming on.
Yeah.
Most people aren't excited, but I'm excited because I feel like that'll come with some good accessories and the biggest part of whatever Build-A-Figure would be for that wave, which probably I'm guessing Doc Ock.
Actually, no. I wrote my notes. I do agree with you. The bike line is insanely cool with Ghost Rider, Black Widow, and Logan now. Logan belongs on a bike, and he has an interchangeable head with an eye patch.
Scott Summers will hopefully be next too, because I know he rides a motorcycle in X-Series.
Definitely want most of the bike figures. I'm iffy about Black Widow. I'll have to see maybe if I can get her on a clearance. Maybe I'll get her. But I'm interested also in the Avengers Infinity War Wave. I'm interested in all the movie figures. I don't know who Songbird is. I'm not really in depth of Taskmaster. I am interested in...
That Taskmaster does look really cool.
Yeah, it does. It does. They did an improvement there. But I do want all of them. I do want King Cobra, the Cap, obviously, kind of nomad with the Wakanda shield. I guess that's what they're calling it. And the Iron Man. I have to get a new Iron Man with those blasters because been a while since I got a new Iron Man figure. Also, the Spidey wave we just mentioned, House of M Spidey's in that wave, Cloak and Dagger, Scarlet Spider, a Black Daredevil, Elektra, and Doc Ock. Now, Doc Ock is not the Build-A-Figure, and he does not have bendy wires. He has interchangeable. You could take the tentacles out and rearrange them in the little holes in the back. But
That's slightly disappointing, Hasbro. Come on now.
yeah, you think they would do that one because that seems
Because they've done
quite
it for
obvious.
They've done it for other figures before too. It just seems like a lazy way out. Like,
Right.
I want to be able to pose the tentacles on Doctor Octopus, like he's Doctor Octopus. Come on now.
Right, and the Build-A-Figure for that one is some robot Spider-Man.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
Yeah, from Spider-Verse, which I remember in like a page or so, because I did read Spider-Verse, and I don't remember him too well, but I guess I'm just glad Doc Ock's not the Build-A-Figure, which I'm okay with. So I don't need to, I'm not into that Build-A-Figure, but okay.
If nothing else, too, it always makes good to go to a show and now you're like, hey, I could trade this for that.
Right.
Always good to connect with the action figure community.
Next wave we got is the X-Men wave. Has Multiple Man, Storm, Psylocke, Classic Wolverine with the blue trim on his boots, I guess. Build-A-Figure, Apocalypse, Sabretooth, and Magneto. And the ones I like, I'm semi into X-Men. I do like X-Men, and it's a great story. But I'm very like I'm a collector that picks and chooses their characters. I don't necessarily need every single wave of every single figure of every single wave. But the ones I really do like that they made an improvement are Magneto and Wolverine, because you get I think they finally they made a great looking Magneto finally with the black and red, and they also. Finally, the classic Wolverine is like the best from the animated series. What did you like from that wave?
I really liked how Hasbro, within the Apocalypse wave, they made it so, because based on the comics, Apocalypse always has his 4 horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Which it was a nice touch that they did. Basically, Age of Apocalypse type things with like Storm and whatnot. And that Storm looks great. Apocalypse looks great. It's really nice because I love the original Toy Biz one. I think it's huge, but it would be nice to have one where it's still big, but it's not necessarily like 12, 13 inches big. Definitely the Storm is the main one I'm excited about.
I'm excited about the Vision of Scarlet Witch. I believe it's a Toys R Us 2-pack.
Yeah.
Finally movie. Finally made a movie Vision. But
people don't have to buy the knockoff movie Vision I've been seeing making the rounds on eBay. So that'll be good to get official Hasbro one. Plus, then people won't need to buy the wave with like Wonder Man and stuff and Eel, where people bought that Scarlet Witch, where sometimes it was hard for people to find.
Right. That
you can just hold off and get a nice 2-pack.
And Hasbro has now invested in the photorealistic technology, 3D printing, which is great with the Scarlet Witch now. So, and those two are kind of have a love connection too. So it makes sense to have them in a 2-pack. I think that's a Toys R Us 2-pack. It has been seen in Canada. I think Quebec was where it was first seen. Moving right along, the Marvel 10-year 2-packs. I thought this was Hasbro's greatest wave because for years and years I've been waiting for certain villains to get their figures. Like the Ronin, finally. Yellow Jacket, finally. The Red Skull, which was I didn't expect, but finally. Now with the Red Skull...
Nice little Hydra soldiers. You can army build those. Those are going to be great.
I believe you have to buy the Red Skull twice, because the Red Skull, you get the Red Skull and you get the head sculpt of the Hydra soldier.
You can just the way it appears to me is like you can interchange it.
Yeah.
But you might as well buy a handful,
twice.
So that way you can get some movie Hydra agents. You can get that lovely Hugo Weaving Red Skull.
Right.
And I thought that was a really nice touch with Hasbro where they're like, hey, we'll just put it in the same package to save you the trouble. And I'm like, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
As a collector.
Those figures are going for $25. It's kind of like a special wave, which is okay. I've been waiting so long for these villains to come out, like Red Skull, the Yellow Jacket, the Mandarin, which is in a pack of his own with the Hot Rod War Machine.
And the Pepper Potts, where she has the Iron Man armor after she gets what's it called, the AIM guy.
Right, she
does this stuff. Terrible movie, but
yeah, I wasn't a fan of it.
I definitely do like the Pepper Potts, and I might get it just because Pepper Potts I need a Pepper Potts in my collection.
The Mandarin too.
The Mandarin looks cool. I'm hoping they up the ante on his face sculpt though, because it still look kind of meh. But I'm excited because I mean, you and I both know that they've been
Right.
sitting on Mandarin especially for years now. So it's
Yeah.
like it's nice that they finally found a way to release some of these old body molds.
Right, because if for people that don't know, there was supposed to be a Mandarin Marvel Legends supposed to come out, but that never got released for some reason. We don't know why. I wanted it, but then you think, oh well, that figure in Dream, it's dead. It comes back in a 3-pack with the Yoga Pepper Potts, which is great. Moving right along, yeah, the Red Skull looks great. I thought this was Hasbro's like creme de la creme special. Just getting the villains like Yellow Jacket. That Yellow Jacket looks sick, man. We've been like complaining for years to finally, like, when are they gonna do Yellow Jacket? We're never gonna get a Yellow Jacket now. And it's like he would be so cool as a figure. Finally, we're getting a 2-pack Ant-Man with Yellow Jacket, and it's the same one from the first movie, a little bit more enhanced with a different helmet without the bottom of his face. A lot better. What do you think of that 2-pack?
I can't wait. That was easily my favorite thing from the show. Nice little clear plastic for the eyes.
Mhm.
Suit looks phenomenal. Looks like each of the tentacles are individually, articulated, which is really, really nice touch. Like I love that kind of extra detail. It shows that they really care.
Yeah.
That they're kind of putting themselves in the mind of the collector.
Right.
So I really appreciate that as a collector.
Yeah, and there's Thor and Lady Sif one as well.
Oh, I
Came
forgot
out.
about that.
That one, you forgot about that
Yeah.
one. I saw that one. I have to get that Thor. That's from the Amazon exclusive Age of Ultron pack. That's the same Thor, Lady Sif, so I have to get that one. That's on my must-buy list, along with Captain America and Crossbones. Wow, that figure looks great. I don't necessarily need another Captain America. He looks obviously more improved sculpt and stuff like that, but you have to get it for the Crossbones, man. But I just don't like this kind of 2-pack. Get one figure you want in a 2-pack and then the other one you already have like 3 to 4 of them already, and I think they need to really change that. Start doing more different characters. I do like those figures, but I got enough. I do need a new Thor and I do need a new Iron Man, but like have another Cap. I don't really need another Cap in my collection. That being said, Black Panther and Killmonger, I saw the movie, by the way. It is fantastic, and wow. I'll say that for now if you haven't seen the movie yet, but it's a heck of a flick. Easily one of my best top 5 Marvel movies they've made out of the Marvel Studios. So you get Black Panther and Killmonger with. Now you might I already have the one Killmonger from the Black Panther wave set, but he comes with the face sculpt, and you get Agent Ross, who's played by Martin Freeman, with the Coulson sculpt with the suit and gun. And it's rumored, it's not confirmed.
Build-A-Figure Stan Lee.
Yes, Build-A-Figure Stan Lee. And I knew that was something at Toy Fair. I'm like, I went back and I'm thinking like, they didn't show anything with Stan Lee. I'm like, I wonder what. I hope he becomes a figure eventually because he deserves to be in the Marvel Legends line. So apparently he'll be a Build-A-Figure with some other 2-packs. Another one is rumored, Tony Stark and Doctor Strange, with I don't know what company's supposed to sell it. There was another 2-pack too. I'm trying to think of the other 2-pack. I can't remember. Definitely, if it's a Stan Lee Build-A-Figure, that's a must-have for any Marvel Legends Hasbro collector. Also, Kyle, I don't know if you knew that, but Ronin is going to be a GameStop exclusive and an Entertainment Earth exclusive, from what from my sources tell me. So
GameStop, them and Walgreens both consistently get cool exclusives. Like I love the Snoke exclusive with his throne. So
yeah,
that doesn't surprise me too much. I love how Hasbro's building out the Fantastic Four team.
right. We have the Venom wave coming later. We have Venom, Carnage, Scream, Spider-Ham. The only 2 I'm interested in from that wave, and we have more yet to see from that wave, is the one I'm interested in is a Carnage and Scream, which is the female symbiote. Those are mine. What about you in that line?
For me, I'll probably just do the Carnage and Venom from Revoltech. Hopefully they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
So from that wave, it's going to be Scream, because I think Scream with last year, I was hoping they would do that, and I'm happy they will, from Night of the Symbiotes, which I still have to read that comic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a comic series. And Spider-Ham, because it is so random. It's a pig dressed up as Spider-Man why not? I have the Dorbs from Funko, and now they're coming out with the Marvel Legend,
Right.
and Funko's coming out with the pop version. So
Yeah.
when in Rome, do as the Romans.
Walgreens, Thing, and Silver Surfer. I'm not a huge, you guys, I'm not a big Fantastic Four fan. I do have the Human Torch, who's my favorite Fantastic Four member. Probably pass on the Thing because I'm not into Fantastic Four. I'm sorry, folks, but I do like that Silver Surfer, which I'll definitely get.
I will definitely be getting the Thing. Iffy about the Silver Surfer. Kind of disappointed that they did Silver Surfer before Doctor Doom. I knew the Thing was coming. Silver Surfer was a surprise, but it's like, give us a Doctor Doom. We definitely need it. Speaking of which, Mezco, if you're listening, definitely give us a Doctor Doom. I think you would just do fantastic with the soft goods and the cape, especially.
Right.
And maybe some die-cast metal.
And we're getting another 2-pack, Ant-Man and Stinger. I think I'll pass on that one, unless it's on clearance. But the Ant-Man is the only one I think I'm interested in. What about you?
I agree. You never know, what the day will bring on that particular day. I may get it, I may not. It does all sort of depend.
There is a lot coming out from Hasbro, and I don't know if there's some stuff I can pass on. There's also rumored Sentinel and Wolverine that's obviously going to be coming out from Days of Futures Past 2-pack, and we also getting a Deadpool wave. This is the last wave we'll talk about here from Hasbro Marvel Legends. What do you think of that one?
Lady Deadpool for sure. I think Diamond Select through their Marvel Select line did a really good job with Lady Deadpool, but to get one in, I prefer a 6-inch scale. The only time I really like a lot of 7-inch scales figures is if it's someone big like a Thanos or a Hulk, because then it's nice to have them towering over yours much smaller 6-inch figures.
Yeah.
But Lady Deadpool for sure is very, very exciting.
I'm interested in the Bishop, and Pamela's Deadpool looks cool too. I don't know a whole lot about that. I do have a Deadpool figure I'm happy with, so I do like the Bishop. And my top 5 favorites of Marvel Legends, I will say, is the Yellow Jacket Ant-Man 2-pack, the movie Ronin coming in at number 2, 3 movie Red Skull, 4 the Mandarin pack, and 5 the Doc Ock. Any 5 figures from Hasbro Marvel Legends you like?
For me, I would number 1 is easily, hands down, the Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket movie 2-pack. Then I'm going to bounce to number 5, which would be Spider-Ham. Yes, I know, it's random.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go number 4, which would be Cloak and Dagger as a set. I'm really excited about that. I think that would be fantastic.
Right.
3 would be Lady Deadpool. And then I would probably say 2 would be the Killmonger 2-pack. Within that, the Build-A-Figure Stan Lee. If that actually comes to fruition, I think that would be great.
Great.
Because the only other Stan Lee we have right now is either Hot Toys or the old Hasbro Stan Lee, which the scalpers just put at just asinine prices.
Right.
Like, I don't want to pay, I love you, Stan Lee, but I'm not going to pay Hot Toys prices for a 6-inch scale Stan Lee figure. Just not going to do it.
Definitely. And moving right along, our next brand, Mezco, a recent brand, not necessarily new. They had a lot. I don't know if we'll get to everything we released. Well, let's see. Some stuff is old. Some stuff is new. I'm trying to remember what they have here, but they did show a lot at the show. The things that got the most attention were Cyclops, Cable, John Wick, Jason, Michael Myers from Halloween. You had Black Panther, which was one of my favorites. They're a little bit behind, folks. Distribution, they had more demand than they thought. So
don't forget the best one. That John Stewart the Green Lantern
that was
figure,
pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome with the effects.
So they had some. If you're familiar with Mezco, they did have a lot. I like the new Sovereign Knight Batman. That's something I plan on getting. Hella was insane. Like, that was unexpected because I was like, whoa, Hella. I didn't know that they were gonna do that figure. I really didn't see that coming because they kind of did Hulk and Thor, and I thought that was it. But now they're doing hella more Justice League figures, Aquaman, and you did see the movie Flash, Superman and Batman already out, Wonder Woman on the way. They had classic Superman, they had Darkseid, Batman Beyond, still a little bit backed up with those. They're coming though, folks. Most of those are coming in the spring. Still waiting on Doctor Strange. I'm really excited about, like I said, Black Panther, Iron Man, Homecoming Spidey. Also, I'll get the Homecoming tech suit Spidey, maybe not the training one. They come around between $60 and $90. Joker was there, Thor movie Hulk from Thor Ragnarok, Daredevil, Punisher. I was really impressed by the Punisher figure. Can't wait to see what he comes with. Also, the training suit Daredevil along with regular Daredevil, Old Man Logan from comic series. We got some classic Jokers, more modern, also classic Joker and modern Joker. Harley Quinn still not brand new, but still on her way. And yeah, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, also with the Clockwork Orange and Zombie. There was a zombie there, but John Wick got a lot of talk along with Evil Dead Ash. What were your top favorites from Mezco?
From Mezco, my top favorites easily number one, Jon Stewart. And then I love the Netflix Daredevil. The training suit I thought was great. I haven't seen John Wick yet, but either of them, unfortunately, because I heard they're great movies. But anyways, the likeness to Keanu Reeves on that face sculpt was fantastic. Clockwork Orange is another one I haven't seen. Maybe I'll put that figure in there. And then, most importantly, I've been waiting forever for them to release that lovely Darkseid figure, and I'm hoping they still do it with LED lights.
Yeah.
And we got a new date, which it said holiday 2018. So Mezco, if you're listening, I want that Darkseid figure, and it must have LED lights in the eyes, or it would not be the same.
Yeah, you're like asking for Santa Claus there.
LED lights in the eyes with the die-cast metal is just so fantastic.
Right.
Can't even contain my excitement for that.
My favorite from Mezco, number one, Black Panther. I have Spider-Man Homecoming, Spidey, tech suit Spidey, number 2. 3, Sovereign Knight Batman. 4, Justice League Flash. That's a mouthful. And number 5, I have John Bernthal's Punisher, which was an awesome Netflix show. One of the best. It's clearly better than Iron Fist and The Defenders. So I highly recommend you to watch that one. So also moving right along, DC Collectibles. We'll be a little bit more brief on them. They didn't have a whole lot of toys being released. They
were garbage, to put it bluntly.
Toy wise, and me being an animated series fan, it was. I don't need an Expression Harley Quinn pack. If you do, great for you. Or Joker pack. I have those figures. I don't necessarily feel like rebuying them for more expressions.
It just seems lazy to me. Like, oh, you know that figure we gave you? Well, here's it re-released with a bunch of faces and stuff. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, give me some of the characters that made the anime series special, like Condiment King. I know it's silly, but he's number 1 on my list. Red Claw.
Right.
There's no Red Claw figures, not even the original animated series figures from Kenner.
Right.
It's like they need to get their stuff together. Like DC Collectibles is literally sitting on a gold mine with that line.
Yeah.
But there's rumors that the new chief financial officer, or CFO, at DC Collectibles is very frugal, because they know they can get their statues manufactured in China for like $5 or whatnot, and then they can mark them up 150%. But it's like, not everyone's a statue collector, like, and that anime figure series line people love, and it's like, now there's rumors they're going to do 2-packs like they did with the Watchmen figures, and it's like, not everyone wants a 2-pack. Like, sometimes we just want those individual carded ones.
I agree.
You already increased the price, and then it's like, and then you just are canceling ones. Like, the Joker Mobile would be awesome. It'd be a great homage to Kenner.
Right.
And it's like, you guys need to really get your stuff together, especially because my biggest surprise of the show, Mattel. If Mattel keeps it up, Mattel, as crazy as this sounds with their lackluster articulation as of late, Mattel might be the go-to, other than Mezco, of course, in Hot Toys for DC figures, because Mattel came out with that awesome Beast Boy, and the fact that those Teen Titans figures are coming with additional accessories for Clayface, interchangeable hands and whatnot. Like, kudos to Mattel. Like, you guys are definitely doing some great things. Now, granted, their new line of like DC movie figures and whatnot, like, I'm excited about the Danny DeVito figure and whatnot, but I am not excited about the Batman Forever. Batman looks meh, but hey, give me a Jim Carrey Riddler in the future, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, DC Collectibles, I had so much expectations, and I collect figures. I'm not a huge statue guy. I thought the best thing that they had at the show was the Teen Titans statues. Those statues look badass, but I don't collect statues. Too big, too delicate. I don't want anything breaking if you have like a kid in the house or a pet or anything. But I thought that was the best thing they had at the show. But it just came up short for them. And I don't blame them. I don't blame the creators all the time. But I feel like it was the business end of it all. I feel like it's the business, the corporate kind of making those decisions on what they can release and stuff. I feel like sometimes they have their hands tied. However, I don't believe the animated line, such as it was a leaked image of Martian Manhunter leaked online for DC Collectibles animated line from Justice League, the animated series. So I do think the line, it kind of reassured me that the line is still alive. It's just kind of being delayed right now. So that's how I see it with them. I know they have their hand side. I'm just not into the DC Essentials line. The figures look kind of boring to me. No real effects or anything with that they come with. They just kind of look like better looking Mattel figures, and I'm not crazy about those. I don't really click Mattel. You know, they had Aquaman, Reverse Flash, Flash, Deathstroke, Batman, and Black Manta, I remember, and Superman. But I'm not crazy about DC Essentials. Just not, I'm not feeling it. I'm glad they're still making action figures, but I want to see more animated lines soon. I hope at like San Diego Comic Con they have something to reveal. It looks like the animated line's still in effect, but just not. It's just kind of been delayed. Moving right along. Did you see anything from Diamond Select you like?
Not particularly, no. I thought they had a great showing, but I'm not into Ghostbusters really. The rooftop display looks cool, but other than that, meh. I mean, I thought they always do a great job, but just nothing I absolutely have to
They
have.
they did a pretty good job with statues from the DC TV series. I thought those statues were great. I'm not not a statue guy, but those did look good. The build a diorama, it looks great for you big displayers out there with the diorama. You could mix and match that with any brand of figures. Cartoon Ghostbusters, if you're a Ghostbuster fan, I think that's the big thing to take away. Obviously, it's from the cartoon series, but yeah, they had a decent show, I thought. And they had Black Panther and Beast as the Marvel Select figures that I saw there. So those look pretty cool. I'm not huge into Marvel Select because I collect Legends, but they don't fit into scale usually with my other parts of the collection. But what did you think of those figures? Black Panther, movie Black Panther and Beast figures. Did you see those?
They were good. The Beast will continue with the nice Danger Room diorama they've been doing for years, but just nothing I need in my collection. The Danger Room diorama is fine though. It looks cool.
Yeah. Also, NECA. Anything you like from NECA?
The only thing I really liked from NECA was the Buddy the Elf figure, but that face sculpt was kind of...
Yeah, they had some quarter scale figures, Cap, Wonder Woman, some God of War figures, Comic, Deadpool, Crash Bandicoot, which people are really excited for, which that's great. It's a fresh new take on a video game figure, which I think is great. And NECA came out with their quarter scale Deadpool, Wonder Woman, Comic Daredevil. They have some God of War figures coming out, Crash Bandicoot, really big seller. Friday the 13th, some Jason, Gremlins, Pennywise, which got a lot of notoriety at Toy Fair, and the TMT diorama, which you could get the diorama separate and the TMT figures as well. Pretty good. Don't you agree?
Oh, I'd agree. You forgot the most exciting ones. Last year, I believe it was Toy Fair, either that or SDCC, which for those who don't know is San Diego Comic Con. They NECA announced that they were going to do with their partnership with Dark Horse and DC Comics.
Yeah.
They were going to do 2-packs, which was like Batman vs Predator, Batman vs Joker, Alien, etc.
A lot of Alien coming out of NECA, which a lot of people are excited for.
And it was piggybacking off the success of a really cool 2-pack, which was Superman vs. Muhammad Ali, based on, like, I want to say, like, the comic from sometime in the 70s, maybe 76, 77. Neil Adams artwork, all that fun stuff. But anyways, right now they're just waiting. The less fun aspect about being a toy manufacturer is licensing.
Mm-hmm.
So with the 2-packs, you have to get licensing from, like, for example, with the Alien, Batman versus the Joker Alien, you have to get licensing approval from DC Comics, Dark Horse Comics, and Warner Brothers. And they wouldn't say who was basically kind of running them around a circle because, they're not stupid and they don't want to offend any of their partners.
Right.
But needless to say, they said they'll eventually come out, but they might have to be Comic-Con exclusive, which would be frustrating because it would probably be at a higher price point.
Yeah.
It would probably be, instead of 40, maybe it would be 60, but I guess we'll see.
Right.
The Buddy the Elf, though, that was my favorite thing from NECA by far. The face sculpt was a little meh. They do Christmas figures really well.
Yeah, they do. And, with some other companies at Diamond Select actually didn't have a lot to show at Toy Fair. Figure-wise, some cartoon Ghostbusters, some statues, which a lot of people like cartoon Ghostbusters, the Beast and Black Panther. Obviously, and they're also coming out with more Pacific Rim figures too. The movie comes out. Obviously holding off until they're allowed to get the blessing by Marvel Studios to release more product, which they actually have.
They
We
want to do.
found out this past week that they have way more to show now with statues and figures.
It's what they want to do. From the silhouettes, it looked like they want to do Iron Spider and what's his face, Winter Soldier.
From what I saw, I know they are doing statues, and they're doing the movie Iron Spider, Captain America, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, and Thanos. I know that those are going to be statues, and they're pretty nice looking statues. If you're a statue guy, I'm not a huge statue guy, but if you look, they're big in the statue market right there. Pretty crazy, really looking. And then I know that they're coming out with obviously a Cap of Spider-Man, Marvel Select. I'm not sure who else they're getting out of there. I think Iron Spider, Captain America. Obviously, some more movie. The main movie figures you could expect as they're making figures out of all of the main cast of those figures of Diamond Select. Just now, a lot more products getting released because the trade embargo for Avengers Infinity War has just passed, and now you're seeing the images of more product being released. If you did not see it at Toy Fair this year, obviously now more is released for these companies like Hot Toys, Diamond Select. We're just getting plowed with Infinity War every single day, from Mini-Mates to Hasbro to Hot Toys to SH Figure Arts. We're just getting plowed with the Infinity War now because the merchandise has been allowed to be released and shown online the weekend of March 3rd as well. But back to Toy Fair, I found a new brand I liked. I'm not going to go bonkers on, but I did like two figures from what I saw, and it's I think it's a foreign company called Asmus doing the Lord of the Rings figures. If you don't know what this company is, Asmus it's I don't know if it's a Japanese company or I think it's Japanese. They have the rights to do Lord of the Rings figures. Now, if you're familiar with Mezco, that's kind of like what they are. They're kind of like a foreign Mezco, and they do the Lord of the Rings figures that are just around the same size as Mezco. What size Mezco usually? What's the figure?
Mezco's the 1/12 collective, so it's
1/12?
about 6 to 8 inches in between there.
Right.
It'll probably be more so like 6 inches for say the movie Thor that's gonna come out from Thor Ragnarok, and it'd be like maybe 8 to 10 for like bigger figures like a Hulk or like the Dark Side that they need to release soon. If you're listening, Mezco, release that. I don't want to wait till December. It's been 3 years.
Yeah, I definitely.
What the heck?
I definitely saw this new company called Asmus, which is pretty much they have the Lord of the Rings property, but they create it looks high. It's really high quality. They're like Mezco, so it's kind of like Lord of the Rings Mezco figures. They have some of them with the longer hair have realistic hair. They have metallic weapons and stuff like that, swords. It's all top of the line stuff. Actual fabric for the clothing, cloth capes and everything like that from Cloth Clothing. Awesome stands. They have the ones I saw were Legolas, all the Hobbits, Frodo, Sam, Merry and Pippin, Gandalf.
Was it a ring wraith, right?
Yeah, ring wraith. They have a ring wraith with the horse, and they have the Mouth of Sauron. And they also, not only just that, but they also have the Witch King from the movie as well. That being to complete everyone's hopes and dreams of doing all the characters from the Lord of the Rings. So basically, from what I saw, they have Aragorn. They have Aragorn as well. These are highly detailed figures. If you are interested in them, they have their website. It's called Asmus, ASMUS. Just go to their website, asmus.com. They have realistic swords, cloth capes. It's pretty much just Mezco Lord of the Rings. That's pretty much what it is. And they have the rights, and they have the same. It's very close to the same scale, if not is the same scale of that. But if you've been waiting for Mezco-ish Lord of the Rings figures, that's what they have. That was a new brand I was impressed with. That was not showcased on anybody's YouTube channel or coverage of Toy Fair. It was just something I found where I was watching one of the toy reviewers. They kind of moved the camera, and I'm like, what is that? It was right around the Diamond booth, and I kind of saw it. I'm like, I know those are Lord of the Rings figures, and I researched, and I don't remember how I really found it. I just kind of clicked, and I did some searches, and I eventually found it on somebody's site somewhere. But I was really impressed by those figures. That's my new brand that I'm interested into. The figures retail for between $100 to $200 per figure. It's a lot. I know it sounds like a lot for a figure. Don't get me wrong. At the same time, you get a lot, and they are high quality. You get a lot of accessories. They don't jip out of the accessories, folks. They're the real deal. I mean, if you're looking for high class quality Lord of the Rings figures. They definitely have them. Two I like that I want to get is obviously Gandalf the Grey. He has his hat, and he has comes with 3 different interchangeable wands or staffs. Comes with his sword. Comes with his hat. He comes with a cloak. He comes with, I think, a pipe. Yeah, I'm just looking at him right now. Boromir. They have some orcs. They have Aragorn. They have the Mouth of Sauron. They have one of the orcs, 2 of the orcs. But check them out if you're looking for. These are high quality. I mean, I'm showing you the pictures, Kyle. They are the real deal.
Like mini Hot Toys.
Yeah, like mini Hot Toys. It's. I think they're a Japanese company. I could be wrong.
They could be British though. Hello, pip pip cheerio.
Yeah, Gandalf and Frodo. Frodo comes with a ring and his sword, Sting, Aragorn. It's worth it. And it won't be long until they do Hobbit figures as well. If you're interested in the Lord of the Rings and you feel kind of like, you know what, I want to see different Lord of the Rings figures. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings figures in a long time. It's kind of hard to. Correct me if I'm wrong, people in the comments. I don't remember who has the Lord of the Rings license. Last time I checked with 6-inch figures, it was Bridge Direct. They did the Hobbit figures for the movies. I guess they didn't sell enough, so they didn't do them for the 3rd movie. But I think they also had the Lord of the Rings the license as well for the plastic figures. But no, Asmus Toys, ASMUS. Check them out. They have Saruman as well. Gandalf the White, I think. Yeah, I've seen Gandalf the White. Legolas, who comes with a troll stand from when he kills the troll in the 1st movie. So he could stand up on there. The Gandalf the Grey is the one I'm looking at right now that I'm interested in, and Frodo. I don't think I want to collect. Maybe I will eventually get maybe 1 per year. They're kind of high, they're in price point, but there are certain ones characters right now. I think I'll cherry pick right now, see how the figures are. Get a Gandalf, a Bilbo Baggins from the Hobbit movie when it comes out, and a Frodo Baggins and see how those figures are. But check them out. They're not a company, they're not a huge company, but if you're looking for like Mezco-ish Lord of the Rings figures, they're worth it. On to our next brand. I know Lego. There are Lego fans out there. Lego had some interesting news coming out of Toy Fair from 2018. They are obviously releasing more Star Wars from Solo, Star Wars film coming out end of May. That's always interesting. A little bit of spoilers if you catch the images early. The Millennium Falcon they have obviously looks a lot newer and a lot more sharper. It has not the double front, but the unified pointed front of the Millennium Falcon. Comes with I believe Chewie, Lando, some new characters, Han obviously. Basically every character you've seen in the trailers. The Woody Harrelson character, I believe he's in the Lego form of the set. I think Kiera is her name. She's she's from the actress from Game of Thrones, who's also in that Lego set as well. But Lego also more Jurassic World playsets. That's kind of nice. I know some people are big Jurassic Park fans, Jurassic World fans. Obviously, Avengers Infinity War sets as well. 2 Avengers Infinity War sets I found interesting. There was the Doctor Strange Sanctorum set they had there at Toy Fair, and the one you shared to my link, which was the Hulkbuster. So it was like a giant Hulkbuster figure. It's kind of collectible looking for Lego, which was quite interesting, but also Jurassic World as well.
The only problem is, obviously, Lego always gives great quality.
Mm-hmm.
Mega Bloks is good stuff, but Lego is obviously like the Lamborghini within the brick building community. That Hulkbuster, man, for that price, it's like...
Legos have really increased in price, and I think we'll talk about that in our next podcast episode of retail and how that has changed from when we were kids. Obviously, yeah, Legos, as you can see behind yourself, I have plenty. I collect them. It's hard because it's kind of become more of an adult hobby. Franchises coming around. Obviously, more and more, doing more sets, doing Jurassic World, Star Wars as always, Avengers Infinity War, doing Marvel stuff. They've been doing very good with the Marvel stuff. The set's getting up there a little bit. Hopefully, you still get the younger generation. But also, Lego announced that Harry Potter is coming back after a 5-year absence with a giant Hogwarts castle. And I believe that's around $100, $90 price point. I have the last Hogwarts castle that was released. I think mine's better, so I won't be getting that one. But I am excited to see new sets from the Harry Potter line get released, though. If they do something different with the castles. I think they were going to build, I heard a rumor that they were going to build like a $500 set for a Hogwarts castle or something like that. I heard a rumor. Don't quote me on that. That's what I heard. But obviously another rumored set, the Whomping Willow set, is another one for Harry Potter. I'm really looking forward to the Harry Potter franchise coming back. They only showcased one set, which was the Hogwarts set. If you're getting back into Lego and Harry Potter, that's a good starting point for you because they'll obviously make more. Really looking forward for the Harry Potter franchise to come back in Lego form. For me, I'm more interested in new sets that they're coming out with as opposed to revamped sets. But yeah, the Harry Potter franchise coming back for fresh collectors from Lego should be fun and interesting. Yeah, Lego does a phenomenal job, Kyle. I mean, I know you don't collect Legos. I collect Legos. I collect certain ones. I collect Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. I have a few Star Wars ones as well. But they're a quality company. Their prices have gone up, but they have their own aisle. You got to respect that in the toy department. But at the same time, when they release something and they say they're going to release something on May 24th at 5 p.m., that toy and their distribution center, make sure that happens. That it's at 5 p.m. on that day. It's just so on point. So I give credit to their distribution. Lego does a bang up job with that. Looking forward to what they have in the year. And the Harry Potter stuff comes out this summer, later in August. The Jurassic World stuff this summer when the movie comes out. Moving on, Hasbro had some more stuff from Star Wars The Black Series. Mostly their Han Solo movie wave. They had a range trooper. They had Lando. They had the Woody Harrelson character, I think his name's Beckett. Kiara, a Porg 2-pack, Hoth Leia, Tarkin. They had a Toys R Us exclusive Zuckuss. Gamorrean.
With the Toys R Us exclusive Zuckuss, that will just add, I think at that point it's what the main bounty hunters are complete because you've got Boba Fett, obviously, which is incredibly popular. You've got Bosk, which is, I don't know that much about Bosk, but it's still cool to have another bounty hunter. IG-88, which for some reason goes for a pretty penny on the secondary market. And I think it's because, who doesn't love droids in the Star Wars universe? And then Zuckuss, being a Toys R Us exclusive, I feel like it'll either be really easy to find, like some of their Toys R Us exclusive Black Series figures, or it'll be really hard to find, and because he's a bounty hunter, he'll eventually go for a pretty penny on the secondary market.
Yeah, and you're getting, speaking of droids, you're getting Astrotech 3-pack R2-D2, R5, D4, and R2-X2 as a exclusive, Amazon exclusive. You're also getting Holdo, the purple woman from the new movie, Dengar, and you're getting a whole lot. 6-inch figures, great. They do a great job. Hasbro has stepped up their game with doing the 3D face sculpt. They kind of held off on Tarkin, I think, to do that face sculpt and that figure justice. Pretty nice that they've kind of switched over to that technology, which they did already for Hasbro Marvel Legends.
Especially with someone like Tarkin, who not only is a legendary actor, but is just like, I know that figure is going to be incredibly popular because people can just put him in their displays with their Vaders and all sorts of other stuff, like in even SH Figuarts or Mafex, as far as Japanese companies go, they haven't even done a Tarkin. So when that figure comes out, it's gonna be really good, especially for like a $20 price point.
Yeah, and they're doing a Captain Rex and Wolf. They're all 6-inch figures. Most of the Han Solo 6-inch figures, except the main villain. From what I saw from the trailer, the big thing that the Hasbro really wants to sell is the 3-inch. I think it's 3-inch of Jabba's Palace.
Yes.
Sail barge. Sorry, it's a sail barge, and they need 5,000 to sell for it to become like a regular thing. It's like a crowdfunding, like I don't know, say scheme, but it's like a crowdfunding strategy to get people to buy this thing in order to make sure everybody gets it.
Yeah. Tell them the price point though.
$500. So. That's expensive.
Yeah, I was pumped about it. And I think it's one of the coolest things they've announced. But at $500, like, they might do it just because it's never been done before, except for in like the form of Legos and maybe Micro Machines in the 90s. But like, that's insanity.
Yeah,
like low, 250 maybe, not 500. That's ridiculous.
I believe toys, from my perspective, I get that they are collectible. But for like a toy, like it doesn't matter what kind of figure. I know the sculpts and they have all this technology and stuff like that, but it's hard for me to spend a lot, like that much, $500 on a toy, especially one that takes up that much space.
I'll get it when it goes to clearance.
Right, it's huge. And you got that giant TIE fighter from what I remember.
Oh yeah, that TIE fighter that Hasbro released, it started off, I believe, what was it, $185, and I ended up getting it for like $65 at GameStop in Seven Hills, Ohio.
Right, and it's harder to move bigger toys like that because one, they're more expensive,
and they take up a lot of real estate in a collector's room.
Exactly, and I don't get giant ships like that for my six inch figures, but it's hard to move and sell. I mean, it's we saw it with the Batman animated line. We're seeing it again with the Star Wars line. I don't have a problem with it. It's just kind of hard to move and like make a consistent like wave of those ships and whatever you got from stuff like that.
Right, because you got to factor in they have to pay someone to sculpt it. You know, you have to have the plans, then you have to put it in sculpting. They'll get it made overseas in a place like China, and then they get it shipped over here, and then you got to make sure X amount of units sell, so you turn a profit. So unfortunately, it's like, of course, everyone would say like, oh, I'd love a 6-inch Millennium Falcon, but it's like at the same time, it'll probably never get made just because of the amount of real estate that got taken up with it. But it is really cool that they. I'll still eventually get the Land Speeder, and then Ray Speeder is cool. I don't know if I'll get that one, but it's cool that Hasbro is, I guess you could say, shooting their shot, so to speak, to try to see what the because the market is popping right now. Like, it's never been a better time to be a toy collector. So I'm definitely excited to see what.
Time I checked, I heard they sold just over 1,000. And so it's kind of behind schedule, but what they need to sell. So I don't know how realistic they think it's going to get to selling of those 5,000 orders.
Because at that point, you have to have, like, me and you both love Star Wars, but I don't love Star Wars enough to pay, like, upper level, like upper tier Hot Toys prices. Like, even Hot Toys, you have to put a cap on where you're like, that's a little too expensive for that.
It is.
Even if you, I love Hasbro.
Right.
I think they absolutely did a fantastic job at Toy Fair, but that's just like for that price point. If they lower it, it'll sell a ton. Yeah. But at 500, not so much.
I feel like they'll release it anyway because they went to the trouble of making a sculpt for it and all that stuff. So I maybe they'll release some of it for a limited run. I don't know, or those pre-orders, how many sell. But we'll see. Also, I saw the last thing rounding up the Star Wars. I did see the Rogue One Trooper tank. It looked like in a retro packaging. I believe it was 6-inch, and that looked pretty cool from Rogue One. So to round out today's show, obviously a lot has been released, and we kind of threw a lot at you. Our show is usually an hour. We're obviously going to go over because so much stuff has just been constantly released and constantly raining because of Infinity War and Hasbro and Hot Toys. Just the Infinity War movie is just releasing a whole lot of merchandise. And we saw more reveals today. SH Figure Arts released their line.
Yes.
And that was pretty impressive.
Thanos.
For Avengers Infinity War. The Thanos figure looks really good. Metallic paint on the Infinity Gauntlet and his armor.
His gems are just fantastic. That face sculpt, the quality you get from SH Figure Arts through Bandai Tamashii Nations is fantastic. Bluefin is their distributor, the main distributor of bringing Japanese action figures into the U.S. market. And I cannot wait till Bluefin gets that. Plus, from what I've been hearing, the price point is about $86, $87. So if you think about it, the typical Hasbro figure, unless you find it on like eBay or you trade someone, whatever, is going to be like $20. So if you think about it, for that Infinity Wave, everyone comes to build a figure piece except for the Iron Man. So you buy them all. So what is that, like $100, $125 for that? And it's like, I think for the most part, Hasbro does a really, really good job with Marvel Legends. But
but there's some you wish were better than others.
That wave, I feel like one wave every year, they kind of have some figures that just let you down. And I feel like for that one, it was the Thanos. Just his head looked like a grape.
And it was pretty purple.
It was very underwhelming, not a lot of sculpting detail. The Steve Rogers head, which ironically even SH Figure Arts couldn't get Chris Evans' likeness for it, was weird because they usually are always spot on with that. SH Figure Arts, like, I'll definitely get the Thanos, and I know he's going to be a hot one to get. I'll probably get the Black Panther.
Right.
I know it's so silly as a toy collector, but I do not like Black Widow's hair in this movie, so I'll pass on her. And I'll probably get their old Doctor Strange one from the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, the Doctor Strange one did look good. They also have Star-Lord, kind of like not much to give you on, but they had Cap and Iron Man as well. They also, there wasn't a whole lot of accessories they showed. It's not like they had, like, for SH Figure Arts, the Iron Spider, his spider arms coming out of his back, which I thought they'd have. The line looks, if you're a SH Figure Arts collector, don't despair. The figures look sharp, and for Infinity War, because they have Cap, Star-Lord, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Black Widow, Thanos. Did you see the things that were also coming soon? Was they were also getting a Hulkbuster, and they're also probably going to get a Bucky. the Winter Soldier.
From SH Figuarts?
Yeah, SH Figuarts coming soon.
The only problem is when Japanese companies release Hulkbuster, Mafex released one, and SH Figuarts released one for, I want to see, Age of Ultron. Those things are amazing.
Yeah.
Because they'll come with LED lights, they'll come with a lot of different plastics.
Right.
And whatnot. Whoo, like $330 price points I'm talking, which is ridiculous. People say they're worth every penny, but I'm like, that's expensive. Even as a figure aficionado, like that's a bit too high of a price point. But it's like when you compare, and like I said, you and I both love Hasbro, but it's like when you compare it to Hasbro, it's just like it's definitely better, but is it worth almost $230 more? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like SH Figuarts. I just like the Hasbro price point better, and I get what I want and what I need, which is totally fine. But, like, there's some figures that look better than others, and it's just hard for me to pay how much is your standard SH Figuarts?
Standard SH Figuarts on the cheapest SH Figuarts consistently, not the Figuarts Zero, which is more like statues, but the cheapest SH Figuarts with, like, articulation and stuff, is on average $39.99 and up.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So it's double the price of Hasbro. But the thing is,
okay, that's the cheapest. What is the standard? What is their standard?
The standard would probably be, I'd say, add another 10 to it, about $49.99 to $55.99. Which,
so it's like $50 to $60.
Yeah, which, especially with the I'm a diehard anime fan. With the Dragon Ball Z aspect of it.
Yeah.
Most of them, they absolutely they just do a fantastic job. They'll come with like 6 sets of hands. They'll come with like energy effects. All sorts of good stuff. So they definitely do a good job.
Yeah, and so those are the Avengers Infinity War SH Figuart releases. I didn't see a Thor. I saw Black Panther. That was another one. But I didn't see a Thor. I saw Captain America. And all the other ones we just named. But moving on from SH Figuarts, we have Hot Toys that released a whole bunch of Infinity War product today. A collectible Infinity Gauntlet that is not for wearing. It's for display. It lights up, but that's pretty much it. You can't put it on your hand. I know people were online, I saw in the comment when they were asking, well, can you wear it? Well, you can't wear it. It's not what it's used for. It's for display. It lights up through LED lights, I believe, through the gems. It's like gold looking. I don't know what the price point on that will be. But
because it's Hot Toys, I guarantee it's probably going to be like a $200 price point.
Yeah, it's going to be expensive.
Which is why you and I both are just going to stick with the wearable one through Hasbro, because Hasbro has LED lights in those gems. You can wear it with finger articulation. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, I definitely give Hasbro a lot of props for that.
The Hasbro one looks good enough for display purposes, and you could wear it and you could like play with it a little bit or role play. But that's great too. But Hot Toys released Thor Hot Toy with this new Stormbringer axe hammer thing, I guess. Has light up effects and interchangeable arms. Iron Man, the new Iron Man from Infinity War, Tony Stark head, and he obviously has LED lights. Very complete looking. They teased the Thanos coming, which looks like his Infinity Gauntlet lights up. The Nomad Cap from the movie as well, they're going to release that. So they're going to release more, folks. I mean, as you probably listen to this, they'll probably have 10 more things they release from Avengers Infinity War. But that's what Hot Toys released this weekend. And also before we hit our How We Fared Toy Fair, we're going to hit more stuff came out. The 3-pack Teenage Groot, Rocket Raccoon from Hasbro, and Thor. That's going to be a Toys R Us exclusive.
Right.
That's going to be $50.
For 2 small figures and 1 large, it's like that's a bit steep. I feel like a lot of people might go with the. A lot of people have been excited about the Teenage Groot with Rocket, the little smaller, less articulated, less detailed one.
Yeah.
Mostly for the Groot, because the Rocket looks like trash, but the Teenage Groot looks cool.
I kind of want the Rocket, and I do want the Teenage Groot. It's the Thor that's just not doing it for me. I might get it. I don't know. We'll see. There's so much product coming out from Hasbro left and right. Target exclusive 2-pack featuring Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I'm kind of like bittersweet about this because it's $40, which is fine. But the Falcon is the same that I have now from Civil War. It's a slightly different paint. The Winter Soldier is cool. He has like scruff on his face and stuff like this. But you know that lame red gun I had from the last one?
Right.
It's not Civil War. It's Winter Soldier. He has that same gun, only in a different color.
That
and
gun was stupid.
It was hard to pose with any awesome pose. So they're giving you that gun essentially. It's a different figure.
That's just laziness.
It's just like give me a cool gun. Obviously, if you have
killing me, Hasbro.
Yeah, if you're getting the Winter out of those two, I want the Winter Soldier because the Winter Soldier looks cool because it was on like Good Morning America. They broadcast that. But he comes with the same gun. It's $40, so I don't really need another Falcon because I have the same Falcon. There was another 2-pack came out. I'm trying to think what it was.
It was Eric Killmonger and
right.
What was it? Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, we did talk about that earlier in the show. But there was another one. I'm trying to remember.
And then there's the Vision and Scarlet Witch 2-pack, which is going to be great. Everyone's gonna get that. That's gonna be a fun pack.
Yeah, and the Vision, I need that pack. Yeah, and that wave for the Ant-Man Wasp that was shown in Toy Fair for that movie wave. Obviously not the Ant-Man wave. They did release more figures from that wave. It's called the Cole Obsidian Build-A-Figure, and that whole wave is now finished with Ant-Man movie Wasp, comic Black Knight, movie Avengers Infinity War Black Widow with the blonde wig, Thor with Stormbringer as his hammer, and Malekith as a comic figure in that line. So that does all for the Build-A-Figure of Cole Obsidian Build-A-Figure wave.
I'd be lying if I said my inner hipster wasn't like, because I already own the Malekith, and that's the only one I wanted from the Thor SDCC set.
Right.
And it's like, who would have thought that all I had to do was wait a year and I'd pretty much get the exact same figure at retail? Because I think I paid like $35 or whatnot, or $28, which isn't bad.
Right.
But it's like now it's going to be $20, and it's just like, I could have waited.
Yeah, and also a 4-pack. It hasn't been official, but based on rumors that usually end up being official, this is what's kind of like picked around information-wise as a 4-pack for Avengers Infinity War. It's a 4-pack. I don't know what company will sell it, but it has Iron Man Mark 50 armor figure, Iron Spider-Man movie figure, the Iron Spider arms for Marvel Legends, and another Black Widow figure, along with a movie Doctor Strange. So I guess they're kind of giving us another Doctor Strange figure with the 3D printed Benedict Cumberbatch 3D face sculpt. So that's that 4-pack. It's movie Iron Man Mark 50, Iron Spider-Man movie with the arms, Black Widow, different Black Widow from the Cole Obsidian Build-A-Figure wave, movie Black Widow, and Doctor Strange movie. That's what's coming out of a possible 4-pack out of that. Also, Kyle, let's wrap up our show. I know we went over. We do promise it'll be a 1-hour podcast show. It's just so much got released from Toy Fair and keeps getting released due to the Avengers Infinity War movie merchandise coming out, along with Hasbro releasing a lot of stuff for the movie. It was a big Toy Fair, a big week for us. We do apologize for going over. It will be an hour show, just letting you guys know. But also wrapping up Toy Fair, your best product you're excited for from Toy Fair. What is your top 5 best product you're excited for from Toy Fair, Kyle?
For me, the starting at number 5, I think the Hasbro Red Skull 2-pack is fantastic.
Yeah.
I give Hasbro just the utmost. I mean, people are going to army build this, but at the same time, I give them props for for basically having one body that they can work off of for the first movie to create Hydra soldiers and the Red Skull. My number 4 is Mezco Hela. I wanted one, and now we're getting one. I think it's fantastic. Number 3 is a tie. They already announced this previously, but to see it in person, I'm very excited about, is the SH Figure Arts Master Roshi from the original Dragon Ball anime. I think it's fantastic. And then today, I just have to throw it in. The SH Figure Arts Thanos is a must-get. I think it's fantastic. Number 2 is one that I think may surprise a lot of people, the Mezco John Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah, that Green Lantern. He's my favorite Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Loved him ever since the Justice League cartoon. Cannot wait.
I'm not a huge fan of Green Lantern. I'm not that big into him, but that figure, and I'm not a huge Green Lantern fan. I don't know much about him, but that one, I might have to get that one.
It looks fantastic. I cannot wait to go.
They did a good job with the suit.
Oh, yeah, and then just the nice effect, and how you can put them on the stand. I love Mezco. You and I both do fantastic company.
Yeah.
Number 1, of course, though, is one that Brock and I have been asking for years. I think the entire community has been asking for it, because when the first Ant-Man movie came out, the only people that made Yellow Jacket figures were Hot Toys, Funko made Funko Pops of them, and little mystery minis. And then there was I think there were some smaller figures, and then there's one where it's 3 Z or something, where it was diecast, which that one looked cool. But now we finally get a Yellow Jacket Ant-Man movie 2-pack for the 10-year anniversary of Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait, especially because the little tentacle things, or the little whatever you call those on his
Yeah.
back, are articulated, or at least they appear to be. So yes,
Yeah.
cannot wait. What about you, my friend?
The best product I'm excited for 2018. I'm excited. My non-top five, obviously, but the Lego Harry Potter coming back from the dead is obviously great. I'm happy just to see toys, and I'm a big nerd fan. And just seeing all this product release was a little bit overwhelming as a collector from Hasbro. But bring it on. It'll be challenging from a financial standpoint for I think most collectors. I think I speak for a lot of people. But my top five I'm most excited for was tough because so much got released.
A lot of really good
much.
toy fair,
With
the exception of DC Collectibles.
Yeah. Mezco movie Flash. I think that looked great. I think that looked fantastic. It's a great Flash figure. I wouldn't have it in my top five if it didn't come with the Blue Lightning. It comes with Blue Lightning. I am excited for. I'm going to start. I've made my announcement official now. I'm going to start rebuilding my Justice League figures collection through Mezco because I do think they're a great company and I think you get a lot for what you pay for. So they're moving forward with that. Also, my number 4, Mezco Black Panther. I'm excited for. It looks great. 3, the Mandarin figure from the 3-pack of Iron Man Marvel Legends. I'm excited for that. And just waiting forever for that Mandarin to come back from the dead. I didn't think that would be coming back. So that was a big surprise to see the Mandarin villain pack 10-year anniversary coming back with Pepper Potts. But it's mostly just the Mandarin figure I'm excited for. The Red Skull movie figure I'm really excited for. Did not see that coming. Did not expect that from that villain wave. Just didn't expect that villain wave to come back and have these villains come back from movies from a while ago and be made as Marvel Legends. So the Red Skull movie, in fact, that you could get the Red Skull and the Hydra henchman. And my number 1 is the Yellow Jacket Ant-Man 2-pack. I'm not so excited about the Ant-Man, but the Yellow Jacket, from the reasons what you just said, I'm excited for.
Great minds think alike.
Right, and that's my number 1 because I've been asking for that forever, and I knew that would make a great Marvel Legend figure. Now, I have my top 5 best companies from Toy Fair. Number 5, Diamond. I thought Diamond had a decent show. Obviously, you're going to release more from Infinity War with their statues and stuff like that. They have a really good statue, so I give them a number 5. So if you're go out of my comfort zone, the statue market for Diamond was great. Number 4, NECA. The It figures I thought were great looking. I'm not interested in getting them, but like a lot of people were, I believe. Just NECA just did good. Everyone's excited about the Bandicoot figure, so I have NECA at number 4. SH Figuarts at number 3. Great show. Obviously, the reasons we just talked about. Great product that was out. And I have number 2, Mezco. Just, they didn't have to release a whole lot, but they released enough to, get you hungry for more. Obviously, a little bit behind with those back orders, which is fine. They didn't have to put as many figures as you're used to. But, they're still catching up from figures they have yet to release. And my number 1 was Hasbro. We just talked the whole show about Hasbro. So I'm excited for what they're releasing, just brand new stuff. So they knocked it out of the park. And I just thought my disappointment was DC Collectibles not releasing new Batman animated series figures and not a lot of figures in general. Just kind of could have done more. Just I know it might be a corporate thing that they're not releasing animated Batman figures.
There's rumors that the CFO or the chief financial officer of the company is very, very frugal.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating because at the end of the day, if you make it,
right,
it will sell. Like the Batman animated series figures, like give the people what they want.
Right, and I'm just tired of seeing Joker, Batman, Harley, and
like expressions packs are just stupid.
I thought that was the biggest wet blanket on the show because it was like I gave this show their chance to show me new product. They haven't. I thought they failed this show, but I'm hopeful that from leaked images I saw of Justice League animated series pictures that we'll see more. And that line I don't believe is dead. So what were your top 5 great companies?
For me, number 5 is easily NECA. I don't collect an extreme amount of NECA products because I'm not really the biggest horror fan or Predator fan, and whatnot. But the Buddy the Elf is pretty cool. Face sculpt is a little off, but It figures are cool.
Yeah.
A lot of excitement from them. Excited for the DC Dark Horse 2-packs. Number 4 is Funko. I think Funko always does a great job, especially for the price point. When Brian Mariotti bought the company, he basically wanted to make cheap, affordable pop culture figures, and he definitely succeeded and then some. The Deadpool Funko Pops look really cool. This with Savage World, which is their new like He-Man throwback figures.
Yeah.
They're coming out with Thundercats. I thought that was a great announcement. I don't really care about Thundercats because I'm a child of the '90s, not of the '80s.
Yeah.
But the Lion-O looked really cool, and I believe they had Mum-Ra, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, those I did see those. Those look pretty interesting.
Yeah. Number 3 is SH Figure Arts through Bandai Tamashii Nations. Love the Dragon Ball Z figures through them. Their comic figures and movie comic figures that look cool too. A lot of excitement from them. Number 2, I also have Mezco.
Mm-hmm.
John Stewart, Blade, Hella. So much excitement from them. Can't wait to finally get the Darkseid figure 3 years later.
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes out in December like they're planning. And hopefully it has LED eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1 is Hasbro. I thought Hasbro did a really good job, especially considering how out of all of these companies, NECA included, with the exception of Funko, Hasbro usually has a nice, cheap, affordable $20 price point, and they did a great job.
Yeah, and I think we agree with who won the show and who lost the show, and maybe fans thought different. That's totally okay. Well, that was our first episode. How'd you like it?
It was fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely stay tuned for next month's episode.
Yes, this episode will come out in March, before the month March is out. And our next episode, episode 2, will come out in April. We do apologize if we went over over an hour and almost 2 hours. There's just, again, so much to talk about, so much stuff getting released. We wanted to cover it all because as fans of our show, you're our priority, and we want to cover as many brands and collections and facets of the toy industry as we can. So our next show will be in April. That'll be our second episode. We'll release the show monthly. And next episode, we do plan to talk about retail and the toy industry and the retail aspects of the toy industry. How is that changing? At the same time, me and my friend here are taking a trip next month to Kokomo Toys in Indiana, which is considered one of the biggest toy stores in America, at least on this side of the Mississippi. So we'll be traveling from Cleveland, Ohio to Kokomo, Indiana, and see what that's about. We should have pictures up on our websites. To view our content listen to our content online, please go to SoundCloud, Facebook, and YouTube. Please click like and subscribe our page, Talking Toys. Again, that'll be SoundCloud, Facebook, and YouTube. Like, subscribe. Please comment. We want to hear from you, the fans, of what your favorite brands are. What did you like from Toy Fair? What did you didn't like? What did you agree, disagree? Please be courteous on our on the comments page to other collectors and stuff. We all love the same thing, and that's toys. That's our first episode. And any last words, Kyle?
No, just keep collecting, keep having fun. At the end of the day, that's why we all love this nerd-tastic hobby, is just because it's fun.
Yeah, that's fun, and we hope you enjoyed our podcast as much as we did hosting it. It was a lot of work, and we worked hard. So we hope you enjoyed it. This is Brock Lauer
And Kyle Walters
signing off for Talking Toys. Keep on collecting, America.